Sure. Okay. So, how are you today, Miss Kendra?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm so glad you made some time to meet with me. And how are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling
Good,
good.
good. You look good. You look, even though I know you're a hard childcare worker, you're looking very rosy and rested.
Yes.
Yeah.
Challenges.
Yeah. I'm doing pretty well, just trying to get it through here in the office after some snow days. Did you and your kids get a chance to play in the snow?
We did. They
Um,
love snow. They kept trying to sneak out to the snow, but they really enjoyed it. So,
no, that's
mhm.
great. Well, I know that you and I have only been able to meet a few times before I was ready to meet with you one on one and just observe in your classroom. So one of the things that this coaching provides is a way for you to kind of get an objective outside look about how things may be running in your classroom. Sometimes it's helpful to just have a different perspective come in. I know everyone in childcare is just stretched so thin these days. So sometimes it's just nice to have outside perspective. How can we do things differently?
Mhm.
Things like that. I know you understand because the kids always put you on your toes.
Definitely.
So, so that's mainly what the purpose is for. This is not to like judge you or evaluate anything other than what can we do together to make the classroom a more manageable place and a more enjoyable place for you and the children. So, do you have any thoughts on that? Have you ever been through a TA process before, a coaching process?
This will be my first.
Okay, great.
Mhm.
Well, so we'll kind of learn off of each other, and I'm very new to the childcare world, and I'm getting my feet wet, and everyone I have been with has been really great and gracious. So we can just put our heads together and we'll figure it out together. How does that sound?
Sounds good to me.
So, how do you feel that things are going in your classroom right now?
So, like you, I'm also new to everything. Um, in two of the classes, because we have four, um, two of the classes, the students, the children are very new. Like they've never been in like a classroom setting with a teacher. So it looks very different from the other two classrooms where they're more comfortable. They're used to being in a classroom setting. So they look very different. Um, if I had to set a goal for my Monday, Wednesday class, it would to be more, not more like the other classroom, but to be more comfortable being in the class. Everything is so new to them. We're having to literally start from scratch, like working on things more for them to get used to structure.
Okay.
Um, mhm.
So definitely providing structure in a meaningful way that they can actually remember the routine. And
Mhm.
yeah, it's definitely a challenge. And especially, kids can feed off of us. If you're new and you're feeling that excitement, but yet you're also nervous, they can feel that. They sense, how we come
Mhm.
across. And, the kids are going to learn and feed off of you, and you're going to learn and feed off of them. So um, how old are the kids in the classes? How old are the less experienced and the how old are the more experienced school kids?
Okay, so the less experienced, they are, I think my oldest is 3.
All right.
And then the more experienced, they are a little older. The oldest in there is 4 or 5. Um, but they're just in a routine, like they're used to being there. So they know what to expect.
Right. Well,
Mhm.
and there's such a variation in development between a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old, and you can have a 4-year-old more comfortable with the 2-year-olds, and you can have a 3-year-old who's ready to be with the 5-year-olds. So you really, those are struggles that are very common in that aspect of dealing with orderliness in the classroom. So I'm going to put down as some goals of you want some structure,
Mhm.
and what are some techniques that you're using right now that maybe you've used in the past or you've heard about, that are going well or not going well? What are things that you're currently trying?
Um, do you want more like behavioral wise things, like how I handle behaviors, or how more academic wise, or both?
Mainly just behaviors, because at that age, we're really just, it's all about the introduction. And,
Mm.
we maybe want them to be able to take cues from a card, but just, how do you promote them to listen? What techniques do you have when they need to stand in line, stuff like that for behavior?
So because of like the age group, their attention span is like very slim to none. So the more things that I can do with them moving to keep their attention, I found that has been very, productive. When we have our story time, we do rhythm and music. So we'll start with something like that. We might do a song that's related to the topic that we're doing, and something to get the wiggles out to lead them into it. And also a lot of trying to redirect. If we see that the story is just not working, we might just have to just do rhythm and movement for the
Mhm.
entire for that lesson plan. It's just kind of like we can have something set, but we really have to read them, for it to work.
Yeah, that adaptability is key. And it
Mhm.
sounds like you are just all in and putting it all out there, which is really great. And teachers who are ready to adapt and try something new, they're gonna find a solution faster than someone who is more rigid. Why isn't this younger class as good as this older class, and vice versa, and whatnot? Well, so what we will do is I will come by your classes and maybe kind of observe a little bit of each, kind of get an understanding of your teaching style and your technique. And then we will meet again. I'll collect a little bit of information. We'll kind of talk about what you felt went well, what I maybe noticed, and then we'll come back together and go through all the different strategies that we come up with for you to implement in your um, in your in your classrooms. And if anything there isn't working, we can go through the process again. I can reach out to a mentor. You can reach out to other people, and before you know it, you'll have both of your classes, all 4 of them actually, but the 2 different age ranges, you'll have them ready to go in no time, and you'll have more you time and less Zoom time with me.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, I'm going to get off of here. I will start looking at a few things, and we will be in touch when I'm observing you next week.
Okay,
All
sounds good.
right. Thank you, Kendra.
Thank you. See you soon. Mhm.
Okay. Well, thanks again, Kendra, for meeting with me. I see what you mean. You have a couple of very lively classes that are just very excited to see friends and make new friends when they come to school.
definitely.
Yeah, I did. I saw a lot of positive things that you do and a lot of things that I see you implementing that um, I see you're embracing a lot of the techniques that I was going to share anyways, such as when you use the tickle the sky, when they get rambunctious, instead of telling them to shush or calm down, you engage them in a fun activity. And then when they're all engaged, you have their attention and you move on. And you don't really show any frustration. So I can see how the kids, sometimes when an adult gets the adult voice is when the kids will pay attention more. So I think they see how playful your nature is and they just feel so free to just, is that one of your youngins in the background?
Yeah, sorry.
Oh no, that's fine. There's never a dull moment and there's never a time off for a teacher or a mom.
For sure.
Yeah. So I see a lot of positive things and I'm sure there's some of the things that you learned um being a mom of how to
Yeah,
get, you got three, right?
I do.
Oh yeah. Well, and how you've been a lead teacher, you said just since November, maybe?
Yes.
So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, still new, but definitely your excitement is very contagious. Um, so I would say some of the things that I saw, of course, every teacher can struggle with transitions. So since you're very already using techniques such as tickle the sky and getting them all on the same page, I think that one thing we could do is um just have some set times where there's some physical activity released during the day. And then, you can reclaim their small little bit of attention span in between those pockets of time and transition. So, or in having a set theme when it comes to a transition. So if you're going from one activity to the next and you need the kids to clean up or anything, maybe you can always play the same song or everyone starts marching in place. And when everyone's marching in place, then you can present the next activities. Um, how do you feel about that? And what other items would you possibly like to introduce in your classroom?
Um, I do think that, um, I don't want to keep saying routine, but I think having a routine is so important. So I definitely agree with the same songs. Um, we've tried like a timer, we've tried like different things.
Mhm,
We could definitely implement the same song um
mhm,
for a transition. I never really thought about that transitioning into something else. Other than when so that is something that I really would like to see.
yeah.
Um because I know transitions are hard, especially with them, playing to learn, kind of stopping
Mhm.
for the next thing. I think a transition song would be awesome.
And maybe we could also implement something where we have, if you have a lot more time with them in the morning, we could have a certain amount of suns or a certain amount of moons, and we could move so they can see the passage of time. You can have them each, okay, we've already used up one sun, and then for the next two suns we're going to X, Y, or Z, or for the next sun. And then when they physically move one sun from one side of the board to the next, it kind of lets them be more in control of where they know their routine is going rather than just, well, when Miss Kendra says this, we do it.
Mhm.
That they can look for themselves. If they ask, well, when is snack time or when is this, you can say, well, we have snack time when there's two suns on that side of the board, and how many suns are there now? And it's that
I
way
like.
you're helping them learn and get information on their own rather than one more thing they need from Miss Kendra.
Hmm. I
So,
really I think that they would really like that as
Yeah.
well. Um, yeah.
Anything like that where they get to be the line leader, which I saw you using as well. They always love to be in charge or and holding hands as they travel so they can have the buddy system is really great. So you're already doing some great work. Why don't we go for a couple of weeks and you can focus on one or two things. I can bring over some not equipment, but material
Okay.
so that we can maybe look at some resources together and focus. Let's, we don't have to focus on all these habits at once, but we can, one habit at a time, one day at a time. And if it doesn't work one day, maybe we can try it. But if we notice that things aren't working, we'll just go ahead and try something else.
Okay.
And we can both be reaching out and see what we can do.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right. Thank you, Miss Kendra. I hope to talk to you again soon.
Yeah. See you soon.
All right, Miss Kendra. So good to see you again.
Good to see
Yeah.
you.
So, how have things been in the classroom since our last meeting?
Okay. So I'm super excited because they love the suns. So we have a sun side and a moon side. And they really love, I don't want to say it gives them a sense of independency, but in a way it really does. So transitions, I'm not going to say it has been peaches and cream because it's been a process to get them, to pay attention. But what we did was we posted it on our bulletin. So every time we're transitioning or something, one of them can come up and they can move the sun. So that way everybody knows that it's time to transition. And then the next time we transition, someone else can be my helper and help me with transition. So really bringing it has brought the class together more. And they're very eager to do, to change the sun. So that has been a hit. And then when we do the moon, I look at the moon as more as our calm down time. So when we do our time, we will change the moon. All right. So we know that circle time, we're coming to sit so we can read a book. We know that we're coming together so we can sing a song. Instead of just being wide open and having stations, stations to do things, we do more of, sun, we can be wide open, moon, we can we know to chill.
Yeah, well, that sounds great. So how, being so young, how are they dealing with how are they dealing with being in, oh, I just lost my train of thought because his face was just too cute.
Sorry.
Hey there.
Hello.
Are you helping mama today? So being so young and them still getting balance and coordination, how are they getting their wiggles out? I know we had talked about having some structured physical activity. Is this something that's working for you, or do you feel like maybe they need something else?
I definitely feel as though it helps. So, okay, before we were just going outside for the last 30 minutes. So now we take the bubble machine out with us. We might do like a hopscotch little thing with numbers or something. If there's leaves, I mean, I know right now it's snow, but if there's leaves or the snow, we have shovels and rakes that they can do to give them options other than just being on the play set. So we give them more options, and that has helped tremendously.
Wow. It sounds like you've really taken complete ownership and the kids are starting to really thrive, and you haven't had to become authoritarian or anything like that. It sounds like you're still keeping your authentic, fun, loving, caring self, and just giving them a little extra structure is helping them out.
It
Ah,
is. Like I said, it hasn't been, peaches and cream, but I do see light at the end of the tunnel.
mm-hmm.
So,
Oh,
and stop drinking.
wow. All right. Well, I can see you got your hands full. I'll make some notes and we'll write them up. But I'm always just a phone call or an email away if you have anything. And sometimes if you have a new student come in, we know that that can be a time where things regress. So anytime that you need me, you know how to get in touch with me.
I'm sorry. All
You're
right. Thank
fine. I
you.
figured something happened with the kids.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
kiddos are rowdy, but thank you so
Yeah.
much.
You're welcome. I will
You
talk to you
know-
later.
All right.